Look, I've got some ideas. One of the ideas that we have to focus in on is we've got to have some tort reform. We have to have tort reform. Secondly, we need to let insurance companies compete across state lines. And thirdly, what I have is a plan. It's a charitable plan so that when the doctor takes that patient in that doesn't have hardly any money, they can give free service to that person. At the end of the year, they can write it off of their taxes. It's the right thing to do, and every doctor that I know, they're very compassionate and they would love to help, but they would also like to stay in business. Right. So my bill does exactly that. It incentivizes them to help the most vulnerable amongst us.
Right. Thank you. Would you like a 1-minute rebuttal before I ask you the question?
I'm ready to go into the answer.
All right then. So here's the question one more time. Given the complexities of federal and state health care reform, what are some of the key issues and measures that you support? What measures are you against, and what are your alternatives? 2 minutes.
Yeah, I think it's pretty clear that there are portions of health care reform that make a ton of sense. First of all, let's look at the environment when this debate first started. We had 50 million uninsured Americans. So that was the platform on which this debate started. Of course, I agree with the fact that those up to age 26 can stay on their parents' insurance. My husband and I have 2 of our sons are under the age of 26, both of whom are still on our health insurance, and I'm grateful that they can be. Number 2, we need to make sure that insurance companies are no longer able to discriminate those with pre-existing condition. That has happened. And I see some heads nodding in the audience because I know there are people who are impacted by this and whose children wouldn't be able to get care without this condition, without this measure that is part of health care reform. My opponent has used the term over and over again, repeal and replace. What I would question is, replace with what? Okay, I'm going to talk from a very personal perspective, and I know, that's hard to do when you've got a big audience like this. My husband lost his sister 2 years ago. She and her husband both worked full-time, yet they couldn't afford insurance. She passed away of cancer without receiving the optimal care that she should have received. Just months later, my brother died also of cancer. He was in a different circumstance. He actually had a very good job with very good insurance. It was his insurance company that denied the coverage that his doctor prescribed. So we as his family and his friends had to raise money and pay for his care. I too am against an insurance company intervening with what a doctor says that a patient needs to keep alive.
Thank you. Mr. Cheri, would you like a 1-minute rebuttal?
Yeah, and I'm sorry about your brother. My mother died of breast cancer also in 2001. And thank goodness that she was able to get some of the health care that she needed from the insurance company. But I agree. This is what there's so much more that we agree upon when it comes to reforming the system. When we do this, what we've got to have is we've got to have both parties. The way it was done, I think most people in this room would agree. It wasn't the way we do things here in the United States of America. It was done with no amendments allowed on the House floor. Most of it was done behind closed doors with special deals. Look, we got to put the party politics to the side on a lot of the issues we've got going on here. And you know what? If we don't worry about who gets credit for getting things done, it's like Ronald Reagan said, we can get a lot of things done here in the United States of America. So thank you.
I'd like to thank both of you for very informed questions and a very spirited debate. All right, we have a few closing remarks. First, I'd like to thank the audience. I'd like to thank all of the candidates. And now I will cede the microphone to Greg and Maria.
Was that your dad up there?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay, just one. No, I don't mean Terry. I mean the guy running for the state representative.
Thank you all for being here. I think you know now